Hey everyone, it's Maria, and today I'm going to do probably the most scary video I've ever considered doing, and I was inspired by a book. This is honestly why I think I started my channel in the first place. I was reading a book that really felt so honest to me and scary vulnerable, like they'd crawled in my skin and taken my thoughts out and put it on paper in such a vivid way. And I wanted to tell you all about it because I'm assuming if I had such a visceral, honest, vulnerable reaction to this book, then maybe some of you might as well. It is a book of essays talking about how we feel about our bodies and how this particular woman feels about her body. And while some books hold things back, this book does not. And so I want to kind of do several different videos about chapters that stick out and how I feel about them. And it's very scary to me because I don't talk about most of this stuff, as most of you probably won't either. So with that introduction, okay, it doesn't matter, you people, and I'm a person who has insecurities and who feels constantly under scrutiny, even though no one's probably paying attention, but I am paying attention. And I've felt this way about a lot of myself for a very long time. So we're just gonna do this. You guys are like, what? All right. This is Gross Anatomy by Mara Altman, dispatches from the front and back. Again, I picked this book up and I thought, stupidly, we're reading about the human body and learning about the human body in biology that I'm teaching my kids right now. Wouldn't it be great if I picked up a book on the human body and I was like, oh, Olive said that The Body by Bill Bryson was okay, but it wasn't like the best. And I thought, well, I could pick up a Mary Roach book. That's kind of interesting and fun. I was like, well, but this one, I thought, oh, Gross Anatomy, that'll talk about lots of different things. Has the word gross in the title. So the boys will probably think that's any information I get from there will be great. This is my mindset going into this book. And I opened it. And I read the first, after the prologue. It's split into two halves, the top half and the bottom half. And the very, very first chapter is called The Bearded Lady. Now, I don't know how many of you have struggled with any of this over your lifetime. I assume if you're a male reading this might not even stick out to you, but maybe you'll think it's interesting coming from a female perspective. I very, very clearly have tons of memories associated with any comments or any time that I've noticed hair on a place that society deemed it unacceptable. I remember reading a book, How to Be a Woman by Caitlin Moran, and she has a couple different chapters dedicated to this as well. Just the idea of how much mental, emotional, financial time strain is placed on females because of the expectation that we will be kept clean shaven, or in all the areas that are supposed to be clean shaven. So I know all of this, and I'm a liberated feminist, whatever I try to think of myself as, but I still have such like a scary little girl reaction whenever I feel like somebody sees hair on me in a spot that I think it's not supposed to be. So I remember when I was in middle school, and some of the neighbor girls were like, oh, you don't shave your legs? Like, oh, how awful is that? And just, that was the first time feeling like, oh, I missed the memo. I was supposed to be doing this and nobody told me. I remember any time that I was going to work out and, shaving your armpits quickly before you went to go work out because you didn't want somebody to feel like you were less than. I remember somebody saying something about, a woman's mustache or whatever. And then I very clearly, like, I don't know how much you guys can even, this is scary for me. I shaved yesterday and you could still probably see that I have hairs growing in various spots. I always will. I grow hair like ridiculous amounts of hair. I think it's so unfair because if I were a male, I would just have like that amazing, like, yummy stubble, or I'd have a great beard like my husband, and people would think it was great. And because I'm a female, I have felt, as she talks about in the first chapter, I have felt like I've had to have, razors in purses or my glove box. I have been at parties and like went into the bathroom and tried to pull with my fingernails hairs that came out. I have been like covered myself up with hair, or if I feel like, oh, I missed that this morning, I might even be much more likely to cover up my face while I'm talking to somebody just because I don't want them to see what I think is got to be very apparent. And she talks about, all of these things in the first chapter, and I thought, it's not just me. And I know that it's not just me. I remember in college, one of my girlfriends like bleaching her hair on her mustache, and just feeling like she was one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen in my life, and she was, so self-concerned about that. And again, why do guys get the pass to not have to deal with the terrible insecurity of, oh my gosh, I have hair where it's not supposed to be? No guy that I know has this issue. And my little girl is like very naive and wonderful and matter of fact about everything, and sometimes she'll touch my face. Oh, it's Pokey Mom. Oh, and like there's this like horrible like knife action that just feels like, oh, I'm not enough. I can't believe that she felt that. And both of my boys have made a comment when they were younger too, and I've told them it just really hurts my feelings and not to do that. Anyway, I don't even know exactly where I'm going with this, except that I wanted to be very vulnerable and honest with you about what it means when you find a book that, again, speaks to that part of you that says it's not just you, it's somebody else. So yeah, chapter 1, Gross Anatomy, just hit the nail on the head. And throughout the whole chapter, as she's trying to struggle with this of like, do I accept that I'm liberated and I don't care? Or do I like really, really do care? And the more she even researches and thinks about caring more or caring less, the more terrified she is when she like notices things. She goes in for a Brazilian, and of course, people say things about, oh, well, a man won't love you if you aren't clean shaven down there, or you aren't, kept up. Well, I mean, the science shows that actually there's hair there for a reason, for a sanitary, hygienic reason, and actually gynecologists are encouraging women not to shave down there anymore. So there's just this like back and forth of like, will I look beautiful? Do I keep safe and healthy? And then throughout the chapter, she's also thinking like, oh, how do I tell my husband, or not her husband, a fiance at the time, was he going to run the opposite direction if I point these out to him, that I shave my face or that I wax? And she ends up telling him, and he gets real close, and just that naked vulnerability. I remember the first time when my husband saw me shaving, and I just felt like dirty and gross and not enough. And he didn't make a big deal about it or anything. He just is, that's how it is. And I mean, anyway, I don't exactly know. This isn't really a book review. This isn't really a book talk. I guess it's a book talk a little bit. It's like a book diary, I guess. And I just wanted to share this content with you because I'm tired of trying to be dishonest about how I feel. I think more of us should talk about this. I think more of us should feel like we're not alone. And so I'm going to publish this as fast as I can because I don't want to not, because it honestly doesn't matter. Who cares if I have hair on my face or not, or if I shave or not, or if I'm stubbly or not, or or if I'm full bush or not. It does not matter. Anyway, I just really wanted to say that sometimes when you pick up a book, it'll hit you in a million different directions. I'm really looking forward. The next chapter is on lice. And I remember that whole experience when I was youth pastoring and how, oh, that was rough. And just, there's just there are little things in here that I'm excited to share with you about how vulnerable I'm feeling and how proud I am of this Mara Altman for putting it out there. So that's all. I don't even know. Feel free to put comments in below. And if you're going to be mean about it, I really don't care. I'm almost 37. I don't care if you don't like that I grow hair fast. So anyway, that is all. You are enough and you are not gross. You are perfect. That's it. Bye.